Hello, welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua, and for this practice, you want to have 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. Physically, besides continuing our shoulders and extension practice of opening the chest and the fronts of the shoulders, we're going to also add in some stretches for the calves and backs of the legs as requested. So find a comfortable way to sit. You may like to elevate your pelvis if your back tends to round so that you can lift up the spine more comfortably. And then take a moment to arrive mentally. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I referenced the yogic practice of Santosha, which is one of the practices in the second limb of yoga. Santosha meaning cultivating contentment, or as I referenced a text, reverence, Santosha as reverence. So how do we cultivate contentment, especially when things around us, our external environment and conditions feel discontenting, if that's a word? So here's a book that I've been reading from lately. It's called The Relaxed Mind, a 7-step method for deepening meditation practice by Tsa Kilong Rinpoche. And I want to share just a few tidbits about equanimity. I love his definition of equanimity as really feeling what's going on in the heart and mind and thoughts, and having patience to allow that moment, that space, to feel it all. It can often be misguiding, or we might have the misperception that cultivating contentment or equanimity means not looking at what makes us feel angry or sad or some other difficult or uncomfortable emotion. But I love how, just like in meditation practice, we're not trying to push away thoughts or things that feel uncomfortable that arise. We're looking at them, we're encountering them, but with a practice of allowing ourselves to embrace them, to be with them. Here's another one. That openness should be equal, whatever circumstances arise, so that you are present and not so much taken over by those situations. So whether you deem the condition that arises in daily life or the thought that arises during meditation as pleasant or unpleasant, we bring the same embracing of the experience as it is within that practice of equanimity. And then lastly, freedom of mind means freedom to observe without judgments. That sounds very easy to say, as we are mentally trained, and even there's this thing called negativity bias, where neuroscience says our brains are wired to look for what's going to go wrong. Our brains are wired to look out for danger. It's a survival mechanism. But oftentimes, anxiety and stressful emotions arise because we're doing that too much. And so part of equanimity practice, which then in turn allows Santosha, contentment practice, is to train our minds to accept, okay, this is happening right now. This is what it is. Can I be with that with grace? Can I be with that without judging it? That's so tricky, right? Can we let go of having to label it good, bad, right or wrong? As we know the effects, when we start to label things bad or negative, the tendency of our mind is to close off to it, to close off to the experience. Our heart doesn't let it in. How can we practice equanimity with being with what is if that's what we're doing, closing off and narrowing our perspective? And so in that freedom from judging, we're giving ourselves permission to open up, even when things feel a bit difficult. Believe me, I am practicing this too. I'm not above the practice. I'm in it. So I invite you into our practice of yoga and looking at what arises, whether it be physical or mental or emotional as you're practicing the physical postures, and really cultivating awareness first and foremost. What is your tendency? What is your tendency when you find rigidity in the body or tension or pain? What is your tendency when a thought arises and you feel distracted? Let's start there, and then we'll sit in meditation to go a step further. As you're sitting here now, find a relative stillness. Let your inward gaze scan throughout your physical body. You might begin at the very bottom where you can sense the weight of your body being held by the surfaces below it. Letting your awareness expand within your feet, your ankles, your legs. Just sensing the aliveness of your body in all the range of sensations. And practicing here already, letting go of the judgment mind and just being with what is at the moment. Taking your time to scan upwards through the body, through the torso, through the hands and arms, shoulders and neck, all throughout the head. Bring awareness to the flow of the breath, just as it is. Sensing the state of your energy through the quality of your breath. Observe the state of your mind. Feeling what your attention is drawn to, has been tended to drawn to, and the effect on your emotional state. What emotion or emotions are moving through you right now? Allow the breath to expand more fully into your body. And with the exhale, softening the belly, relaxing the shoulders, filling up with the in-breath. Allow your rib cage to expand and your spine to lengthen. Maybe creating a sound as you open the mouth to empty the breath. Sense the very top of the next in-breath. Maybe linger there with a few seconds. Pause, just observing the feeling. Taking your time to let the breath go. And maybe pausing as well at the very bottom of the exhalation. And observing that feeling. Observing the contrast without having to judge it. A practice of mind. Now, what's something at this very moment that you could offer gratitude for? Setting your intention, clarify what you are welcoming into your experience or opening yourself up to through this practice. And in light of the well-being of all beings everywhere, everyone around us, may our practice not only serve us, but each other and how we relate to each other. I invite you to choose someone or something to offer up this practice to. And together, let's join our voices, chanting Om 3 times. Let the breath fully in, closing the lips, softly narrow the back of the throat, and gently whisper the breath just as slowly out through the nose. Let's begin practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing, lengthening the breath equally in and out while creating a gentle whispering sound. Allowing this breathing technique to help us balance our energy, to bring balance of mind, as we're also practicing equanimity. Inviting calm, focus. As you listen to that, let's start to move the body. Come on down to all fours, your hands and knees. And breathe in as you glide your chest forward, coiling it up to cow pose. Breathe out as you contract your abdomen, dropping your head to round to cat pose. Again, inhale, roll the shoulders back and down and look up. Exhale, lift the navel, drop the head and tailbone. And then keep going another 3 to 5 cycles of breath. Take your time to initiate and culminate each movement with the in-breath, then the out-breath. At the end of your next exhalation, tuck your toes, lift your hips high and press your thighs back, entering downward facing dog. As you arrive in downward dog, let's step the feet apart a little wider than hips distance. Parallel the feet. Spread the thumbs flat towards each other, drop the head. Pull your hips further up and back and let your heels get heavier and heavier towards the ground, even if they don't touch it. Press your chest towards the shins, roll your triceps towards the earth, and start to shake your head no, breathing in and out through the nose. Nod your head yes, lift the shoulder blades onto your back ribs, freeing up space in the neck. Relax your jaw. Bend your right knee generously and press the left heel flat into the floor. Pause here for a full cycle of breath. Keep drawing the hips back. And bend the left knee generously and press the right heel flat into the floor. Pause here for an in and out breath. Now let's start to move to the breath. Inhale, bend the right knee and swivel your hips to the right, dropping the left heel. Look under your left armpit towards the sky and drop the head. Exhale, bend the left knee, swivel your hips to the left and drop the right heel to the floor. Look under your right armpit towards the sky, relax the neck. Again, inhale, bend the right knee, swivel the hips to the right and drop the left heel. Look under the left armpit. Exhale, bend the left knee, swivel hips to the left, drop the right heel, look under the right armpit. And come back through center. Start to walk your feet gently to the top of your mat, arriving in a standing forward fold. Separate the feet at least hips width apart. Bend your knees generously and relax your neck. How's the breath? Take hold of opposite elbows with your hands and let the spine gently sway side to side, keeping your knees loosely bent. As you let your arms just be heavy towards the floor, lift your shoulder bones up away from your neck and drop the head. Maybe shake the head a little more here if you need to loosen your neck. Let's switch the cross of the arms. Tilting your weight forward as far as you can balance. Press your fingertips either on blocks, your shins, or the ground. Press firmly so that as you breathe in to stretch your spine forward, you can create traction to really lengthen the sides of your torso and the sides of your neck. Keep shifting your weight forward and exhale, bow towards your legs. Let's do that a couple of times. Inhale, press with the hands. Inhale, stretch the crown of your head and your chest forward. Exhale, forward fold. Once more, engage the abdomen here. Inhale, stretch your spine forward. Draw your shoulders back in Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow towards your legs in Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows to the sky, and lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise all the way up to stand. Roll your shoulders back and down. From down through your feet, inhale, circle the arms apart, and then interlace your fingers, except the index overhead. Plug the shoulders down and exhale, lean to your right to side bend while sealing your front ribs in towards the back. Inhale, rise up through center. Keep relaxing the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise to center. Bend the elbows apart like a cactus shape and peel the fronts of your shoulders behind you. Then press the shoulder blades down, lifting your chest. Look up. Inhale, lift the arms, let the palms touch. Feel free to bend the knees. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step the left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge. Look up. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest. Engage the belly here. Then lower your chin. Inhale, slide forward, ground the tops of the feet in cobra pose, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips high and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee, gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise all the way up into a gentle back bend. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer down in front of your chest, mountain pose. Second side, Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, roll your shoulders back and down. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips down. Inhale, step your right knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale to Ashtangasana, lowering the knees, then the chest, hug the elbows to the ribs, then lower the chin. Inhale to Cobra, slide forward and draw your shoulders back. Exhale to Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, step the right foot beside your right thumb, lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step the left foot forward and bow. Press to your feet. Inhale, rise to a gentle standing back bend. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer down to your heart center. Pause here, let in a deep breath. And exhale slowly through your nose. Let's step the right foot all the way back and pivot to face the wide edge of your mat. Coming into a wide-legged squat. So from your hips, rotate your thighs to turn out. Pivoting your feet to turn out only the degree that the center of your kneecaps can turn out. Keep your frontal hip bone slightly lifted so your tailbone is lengthening down. Pelvis is not tilting forward. Then bend your knees. Adjust your stance so you're not over bending the knees in front of the ankles, but they're just right on top of the ankles. And rock a little side to side. You could use your hands to gently encourage your inner thighs to splay apart. Keep slightly lifting the frontal hip bones and directing the tailbone down. Let's come into a gentle heart-centered flow here. Start with the knees bent. Then inhale, straighten the legs and raise your arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees and press the palms slowly downward in front of you. Inhale, straighten the legs and sweep the hands as if inviting something to your heart center. Exhale, bend the knees and press the palms away out to the sides. Again, inhale, straight legs, arms overhead. Exhale, bent knees, palms pressing down. Inhale, straight legs, sweep the hands towards the heart. Exhale, bent knees, spread the palms apart. 2 more cycles. Inhale, straight legs, arms overhead. Exhale, bent knees, palms towards the earth. Inhale, straight legs, invitation to the heart. Exhale, bent knees, expand the palms apart. Last time, inhale, open sky above. Exhale, grounding earth below. Inhale towards your heart center. Exhale, sending it out to the world. And then stay in that wide-legged squat. Press your hands on your inner thighs. Continue to splay them open. Draw the hips down, lengthen the spine, breathe in, and then dip your right shoulder forward. I'm mirroring you here. And look over your left shoulder towards the sky. Lengthen your neck. Breathe in, stay here. Allow the twist to happen mostly at your waist, just beneath your lowest ribs. Inhale back to center in your squat. Exhale, dip the left shoulder forward. Look over your right shoulder. Keep splaying the thighs evenly open. Breathe in, stretch the spine forward, lengthen your neck. Keep twisting as you breathe out. 1 more deep breath. Come back through center and then straighten your legs, parallel your feet. Let's bring the hands to clasp, now bringing the shoulders into extension. So hands behind the back or hold a strap between. If you are interlacing your fingers, see if you can get the heels of your palms to press into each other. As you breathe in, roll your shoulders back, lift the chest. As you breathe out, shift your weight forward, align your hips with your ankles, and hinge from your hips slowly, breath by breath. Now, if needed, bend your knees. If your back tends to round, you can bend the knees to eliminate that. Invite a long, spacious spine rather than tensing your shoulders and neck. Let your skull just drop freely. Continue to stretch your arms forward away from your lower back. Bend your elbows slightly to lift your shoulder bones, inviting space in your neck. Let's tune into 4 more deep breaths in this version of wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Release your hands down and press your fingertips either on blocks or the ground and stretch your chest through your upper arms. Pause here, draw the shoulders back, lengthen the top of your head forward. And then bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, point your elbows to the sky from in your belly. And with your next inhale, slowly lead with your chest to rise. Breathe in, float your shoulders forward and up. Exhale, then back and down. Couple more, breathe in, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. With a breath. Let's make our way to the top of the mat. Have your 2 blocks in hand. And step your feet wider than hips distance. Start with the blocks framing your heels and step the left knee behind you to the ground. Let's set up for lizard lunge. So place your two hands now on the inner side of your right foot and scoot your right foot out to the right wide enough so that you can comfortably rest your hands either on blocks or on the floor. We're going to add bringing the right shoulder into extension as we did in our vinyasa portion yesterday. So scoot the left knee back an inch or two so that as you bend your left knee, your weight is sitting on your thigh, not your kneecap, especially as you draw your torso forward. Prop your left hand as high as you might need on one or two blocks more stable, to be able to backstroke the right arm and take hold of your left foot. Then as you lean your torso forward, gently bring your right foot towards your glutes to your capacity. You're going to be here for about 10 deep breaths. Some of you might have the left hand on the floor comfortably or left forearm on the floor comfortably. Now with your right leg, decide what kind of stretch you want to have in your right hip. You can keep the right foot flat on the ground as you tack the outer right hip towards the rear of the mat. This offers something different that you can feel. Or focusing more on opening the area of the IT band, flex your right foot to support your right knee while you splay the right thigh open, making sure you're not sickling the foot and rolling onto the outer ankle. You're just leaning on the knife outer edge of the foot. Relax both shoulders down your back. Make sure the neck feels loose and open, not tensing on the left side here. As you're holding that left foot with the right hand, allow your right shoulder to extend so it rolls open. You're opening the right side of your chest. Let's stay a couple more breaths. Now release hold of your left foot gently and bring that right foot between your hands. So now your legs are hips distance apart. You're in a regular lunge. You may like to have a block under each hand here as we come into half split, opening up the muscles along the back of the right leg. So flex your right foot, curl the toes back towards the shin, and begin to straighten the right leg to your degree by plugging the right thigh bone back into the hip socket while stretching your chest forward so that you're keeping your hips equally facing the front of your mat. Firm in the belly slightly and open up your chest. Roll the shoulder heads slightly behind you, press them down the back. Breathe in, stretching the spine from the hips. Breathe out, maybe folding further. Just fold to the degree where you're not starting to tense the shoulders or around the back. Notice the quality of your breathing. That's a good sign to let you know how far to go in the posture. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Now begin to bend the right knee again. Take your two blocks to help you frame the right leg, tuck the back toes, and step the left foot forward. We'll switch sides, step the right knee back, right knee back. Let's start in lizard lunge. So walk the left foot to the left a few more inches and place both hands on the inner side of the left foot. Notice if you'll need blocks or hands on the floor. Then scoot your right knee back an inch or so that as you bend the right knee and lean your torso forward, you're not digging the kneecap into the ground. You might prop two blocks underneath the right hand to help you reach as you backstroke the left arm to catch hold of the foot. Some of you might have the right hand on the floor or the right forearm on the ground. Then I invite you to treat the left leg as you treated it on the first side, meaning venture into the same variation of the pose, but the depth might be different. So if you Kept the left foot flat on the ground, tacking the left outer hip back, stay there, or flex the left foot and splay the thigh open, leaning on the knife outer edge of the foot. Now check in with your neck and your shoulders. Make sure that your neck feels loose and long here. Sometimes that bottom shoulder on this side, it's the right shoulder, will start to tense up as we put all the weight on that right arm. But see if you can root down to rise with that right hand. So you're not just completely leaning into that right arm. And draw the right shoulder blade down the back. Open up the left side of your chest. Let's tune into about 5 more deep breaths here. Release your right leg and start to rise into a kneeling lunge with your legs hips distance apart. Now you might frame your left ankle with hands on blocks as we prepare for half split. Lift the ball of your left foot flexed and plug the thigh bone back deeper into the hip socket while reaching your chest forward, and then begin to fold little by little each breath. Slightly engage the abdomen, supporting the lower back to lengthen. And with each in-breath, pause where you are and stretch your spine further forward, keeping the chest and throat open. With the exhalations, you might fold further. Ardha Hanumanasana. One more deep breath here. Now let's exit the posture differently. Bend your left knee and slide your right leg forward, lowering to sit. We're going to come into double pigeon pose or a seated cross-legged position, depending on what's available in your hips. So start by crossing the right shin on top or in front of the left shin. Then moving from the hips, not the knees. You want to be very mindful if you've got knee issues that you're originating the turn out of the leg from the hip socket, not from the knee. So to help, you might flex the feet. Now, if you find that as you're sitting cross-legged, the back tends to round or the knees are really high lifted, grab a folded blanket, make it as thick as you need, or take your pillow to sit on the front edge of. If you're feeling okay with stacking your knees and your ankles, then you're set up for double pigeon. But stabilize your knees by flexing your feet. Press the big toe mounds of your feet out towards the left and right sides of your mat. Root your sitting bones down and then breathe in. Lengthen the chest and the back of the skull up as you soften the shoulders down. And then as you breathe out, you might stay here. Or if it's available, you can start to hinge forward from your hips. You're going to be here for 2 full minutes before we switch sides. If you want to catch your forehead with a pillow, a stack of blocks, or whatever props you might have comfortable to rest your forehead on, let your arms relax. As you are encountering whatever sensations may be shifting, intensifying, or waning, practice meeting them with non-judgment. knowing how far to go physically in a pose. It's important to know that pain is telling you not to go there. But sometimes discomfort is something you can practice equanimity with. Can you allow your breath to be of support? Allow one more deep breath here. And be mindful as you start to lift your torso, moving slowly and being aware of sensations as you're coming out of the pose too. Let's stretch the legs forward and give the toes a rest from flexing if they were doing that. You might roll your feet at your ankles, you might point your toes. Notice how it feels in your hips coming out of that hip opening posture. Let's switch legs. Cross your left shin forward or on top of your right shin. You might notice that one side of your hips has easier access to the pose. And just practice equanimity. Neither good or bad, but better or worse. Just seeing what is. If your ankles and knees are stacked in double pigeon, make sure that you're flexing your feet. Press your big toe mounds out to the left and right walls. And then root your sitting bones down and lift up from the bottom of your spine through each vertebra. Let the shoulders rest. Keep the throat open. Stay here or begin to bow from your hips. Adjust the props that you might land on so that you are listening to your body here. You're not going too far where it starts to close off your throat or tense up your shoulders and neck. You can still have that freedom to breathe well in this posture. The breath is a huge support. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Now, as you might notice a difference in how this posture feels on your second side, that's another opportunity to practice just noticing without judging. And sense one more deep breath here. And pay attention to how your body feels as you're slowly moving it out of this pose, stretching both legs in front of you and maybe circling your feet or pointing your toes. Grab a strap here and we'll do a little more for our outer hips, lower back, hamstrings and calves. So step the ball of your left foot into the strap, flex the left foot and kick the foot forward against the strap as you're pulling the strap with both hands. Then cross your right thigh over your left thigh as much as you can so that possibly you're stacking your knees down the center line of your body. Half cow face pose. So give yourself enough slack with the strap so you're able to roll the shoulders back and down, really sit up tall with the throat open. And then as you exhale, start to hinge forward from the hips. Breathe in, press the pelvis down, stretch the spine long. Keep the throat open and you might continue to fold deeper or you might be exactly where you need to stay. We're here for about 7 more deep breaths in Ardha Gomukhasana. If you find that as you're folding further, you can reach hold of your left foot with your hands, then you can let go of the strap. And pay attention to the sensations that are arising in your body here. As you press your hips into the ground, inhale and slowly lift from your chest all the way up. Relax both legs. Step the ball of your right foot into the strap. Kick into the strap as you flex the foot and cross your left thigh over your right thigh as much as you can. Roll the shoulders back and down, press the pelvis down and breathe in, lift all through the spine. Stay here or exhale, begin to hinge forward from your hips. Breathe in, pelvis down, stretch the spine forward. Maybe continue to fold. And press your hips downward and lead with your chest to inhale, slowly rise. Bring the strap with you and let's lower onto our backs. Bending your right knee into your chest as you lie down. Step the ball of your right foot into the strap. Kick into the strap as you flex the foot similarly. And hold the strap only in your right hand. Press your left hand on the top of your left thigh to root the back of your left hip into the ground. Ground your shoulders, lengthen your neck, and now flex both of your feet. Rotate your right thigh at the hip socket externally so your right knee begins pointing towards your right wall. Breath by breath, open your right leg or abduct the leg. Move it away from the midline of your body, finding the range of motion at which you can still keep the back of the left hip on the floor. As you continue with this, tack your right outer hip crease forward towards your inner left heel to lengthen the right side of your torso. Few more deep breaths here in supine, hand to big toe pose. So if you can reach your big toe or your heel, you can hold that with your right hand instead. And then lift your right leg up again. Let's slide the hips to the right edge of the mat a bit, preparing for a spinal twist. Open the right arm wide on the wood, grounding your right shoulder. You might sickle your right foot here. So you're holding the strap now in your left hand. Start to cross your right leg over your body slowly while tacking the right outer hip forward towards your inner left heel. Go only as far as that right shoulder can stay on the ground. You could even catch the inner side of your right leg with your pillow or other props. Last 2 deep breaths here. Raise the right leg up. Take the strap with both hands. Now, for those of you looking for a calf stretch, you can put the strap more towards the base of your toes, like on the top part of the ball of the foot, and use the strap to help flex the foot even more. Otherwise, you might hold the back of your calf with both hands. As you bring the leg closer, keep your legs parallel to each other so you're not turning out the legs. Just a couple more breaths here. Slide your right leg straight onto the ground and bend your left knee into your chest. Step the ball of your left foot into the strap and once again flex both of your feet. Kick into the strap and hold the strap in your left hand. Press your right hand on the top of your right thigh. Root the back of your right hip on the floor and externally rotate the left thigh at the hip before you begin abducting the leg or moving it away from the midline of your body. Draw your left outer hip forward towards your inner right heel, lengthening the left side of your torso. Slowly lift your left leg up again and switch hands. Hold the strap in your right hand and sickle your left foot. Slide your hips towards the left edge of your mat and open up your left arm on the floor. Ground your left shoulder and begin to cross your left leg over you to the right side. Continue to draw your left outer hip forward towards your inner right heel in this twist. Slowly roll onto your back. Either hold the strap with 2 hands, and those of you looking for more of a calf stretch, you can place the strap right at the very top of the ball of the foot. towards the base of the toes. Otherwise, you might hold your calf with two hands. Keep your feet parallel to each other as you bring the leg closer. Bend both knees into your chest and start to rock forward and back, side to side, eventually rising up to sit in hero's pose. Sitting on your shins, we've been flexing our feet quite a bit. So let's stretch the fronts of the shins, so the opposite of the calves, and the tops of the feet, the fronts of the ankles, either by lifting one knee at a time for a few breaths each and then switching sides, or rocking back, rolling on to the tops of the feet. And be aware of your upper body here as we're opening up the lower part of the body. Notice if there's any reactivity in your shoulders, your face. Try to keep the upper part of the body also relaxed. Sensing your breathing. Encountering both stiffness and openness in your body with the same open-mindedness or equanimity, open-heartedness. And then let's set up for one more pranayama practice. So make sure that you find a seated position that allows you to breathe comfortably and deeply. I'll invite you into Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing. We'll take it in the most simplified version without holding the breath today. So sitting tall and relaxed, rest the left hand on your lap. You might bring the thumb and first finger to touch, palm face up to help tune inward, especially evoking third eye center, the intuitive energy center, palm face down for grounding energy. So choose yours. And with the right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. We'll be closing the right nostril with the right thumb like this. And we'll be closing the left nostril with the right ring and pinky like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles of this technique together and then 3 cycles on your own. When you're breathing in or out, try to do so very gently, very softly, not forceful breath, but very delicate. As you practice, you might close the eyes to help sense the breath more. Let's prepare to begin by inhaling fully through the nose. Open the mouth and clear it out. Close the mouth. Cover right nostril with right thumb. Inhale through the left. Close the left nostril. Exhale through the right softly. Inhale through the right. Close the right. Exhale through the left. Second cycle, inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Third cycle, inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Continue 3 more cycles on your own. breathing in and out to your deepest capacity while being gentle. When you're done, let go of controlling the breath. Notice how you feel. And when you're ready, find a comfortable position to lie down in, resting in Shavasana, corpse pose. Begin to mentally scan your body again, observing any difference you might feel since the beginning of your yoga practice. Take your time to slowly and gently wake up your body. Begin with small movements here and there. Ease into simple stretches, staying aware of the breath. Slowly turn over onto your right side, resting your head. Pausing here to really bring the intention of mindfulness as we come out of stillness. We're not rushing to get up, really taking it slowly and paying attention to the moment by moment. As you feel your natural breathing, notice how your energy feels now. Then take your time, press your hands into the ground, gradually lift your torso. Let your head be heavy as you slowly rise up. Find a comfortable seat where your spine can feel tall, but your whole body is relaxed and you feel grounded. You might stack the right palm on top of the left palm, palms face up on the center of your lap, letting the tips of your thumbs gently touch. Maybe closing your eyes, resting your awareness on a sound or feeling to anchor you. That feeling could be a sensation such as the breath naturally moving in and out of your body. As we sit, practicing open mind, open heart, open awareness. Notice when the judgment mind might come in without judging ourselves either. When that happens, just notice. And right there at the moment of noticing is your opportunity to relax, open again. Sometimes the judgment mind does not speak so literally. Sometimes it appears as an agitation because we've heard a sound that we might deem unpleasant, or an ache arises in the body that feels uncomfortable. Be aware of that too. Practicing softening into the awareness of it. What's here now in your mental and emotional state? What is the effect of your practice today? You might join your palms at your heart center and bow for a moment of appreciation, choosing something to offer gratitude for. Then remind yourself what your intention is for this practice that you might choose to continue cultivating outside of this practice. How might you integrate the practice of observing without judging in ways that are useful for you? Cultivating that open mind, open heart, or equanimity. Then remember to whom or what you dedicated today's practice. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may our thoughts, actions, words, practice in awakening and being aware contribute to that happiness and freedom. Let's close chanting together Om 3 times. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.